Hi gardeners, I'm here at the Benham Garden. It's such a beautiful day out that I decided to come read some books in the garden. But also now that I'm here, I kind of feel like I don't have any excuse not to get some work done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the last of the beds prepared. So you can see that I have many of them tarped. So they were kind of cooking off the weeds. I'm gonna remove these tarps from the beds nearest me. And then I am going to finish weeding the beds at the end and put the tarps on them. And then once I take the tarps off here, I'm going to add some hay to keep the weeds at bay until I'm able to plant. I actually just got a shipment today of some more seed potatoes that need to go in the ground pretty quickly. And then I also got some milkweed for our butterfly garden. So those things need to get planted probably this week at some point. There's going to be a bit of rain, so I'm going to have to see what the best day is where it's going to be not so wet. All right, so our potatoes last year were planted in kind of these L-shaped beds in the back. They're pretty deep, and so that was a great place. But with potatoes, to avoid disease, we want to kind of rotate the crops to different beds each year. So I think what we're going to do this year, since we don't have the school planting in the garden, we're going to put them in these middle beds, these C beds right in the middle, one on either side. So we have two different varieties of potatoes this year. We have a kind of a golden potato and then a red potato. So we'll do one variety on each side. And then we are also going to be planting some more peas. We've got some that are growing already in this bed. You can start to see the green popping up. And so we need to plant a few more because some of them did not come up. And then we're going to plant some beans in this bed as well. And then I think that this next bed right here is going to be our carrots and beets. And then we'll probably just do a bunch of flowers in the back here. We already have our strawberries planted over by the shed. And I think, our kale and our radishes. So our kale and our radishes we'll probably put in the beds here on the end. So we probably are not going to plant every single box because I don't even know if we're going to have a working water faucet this year because we can't get in the school to turn it on. So we're gonna have to hand water with just jugs of water. So what I'll probably do is only maybe one box per plant. That way we can make sure that we can maintain it throughout the summer. So this spring it'll be, I'm sure, still raining a bunch, so we don't really have to worry about it too much. It's really when it gets into the hotter June and July months that we're gonna have to worry about it the most. So stay tuned. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of fast forward the work here, and then I will update you as we get to planting. See you soon. Okay, gardeners, I didn't really get much done. I got all of the bricks moved over and took some of the tarps off. And as I was going through and I was just roughing up the soil, I found some good things in here. I found some earthworms, but unfortunately, I've also been finding a lot of these guys. These are little grubs. And I do not like grubs. They like to eat the root systems of our plants. So I have been trying to kind of pick them up and get rid of them. I'll show you, I've got a nice pile of them here. It's kind of disgusting, but there they are. And I'm hoping the birds will come along and take them and kind of complete that circle of life here. But they're really disgusting. I hate grubs. And sometimes you can put down kind of grub killer to get rid of them. I don't like to put any chemicals into our beds. We're not 100% organic, but I do try to avoid any sort of chemicals if possible. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research online to see if there's a way I can kind of kill off these grubs. I've already picked out a couple hundred probably, but I know that there's a lot more in here. So I'm not gonna have the time to do that. So I'm just gonna go through these beds. I'm not gonna film it because it'll take forever, but I'm gonna go through and just try to get anything that's in the top 3 inches of the soil, and then I will go ahead and put the straw down and get these beds prepped. So this bed I think is in fairly good shape. There's still some in there, but I think I got a good number of them out. I'm gonna move on to the next beds and do the same thing. So I'll check back in once I've finished that work. All right, I'm back at the garden, just trying to finish up. I had my son come by and help me. We already kind of raked all the rest of the beds out, got rid of as many of the grubs as we possibly could. And then I created some different trenches, 2 trenches in each of these boxes. And we mixed in some vermiculite and peat moss, and then now we've placed the seed potatoes. We have the red potatoes on the right, and we have the golden potatoes on the left. And we're not gonna fill all the boxes, just the front 2 of each of these sections, and then we can take dirt from the back box in order to mound these potatoes as they start to grow. So this one over here on the right, I've already covered the potatoes and put some hay down in the middle where we have the trench. That trench allows for the water to run off, and so they don't get too sopping wet in the box. We've also gone ahead and put the hay down on this first bed here. This is gonna be our kale and our radishes in a bit. And so I just want to make sure that these beds are prepped before it rains for tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll be done for the night. So I'll just kind of set this down here so you can see the first bed, and then we'll kind of end it there for you. We want to put about 4 inches of soil on top of each of these seed potatoes. And I was not able to get all the grubs out. In fact, I'll give you some pictures that I took of the grubs earlier. It was actually kind of disgusting how many there are in here. But unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it right now. So we're just going to kind of let nature take its course, and hopefully they won't kill everything. Another one. And we added the vermiculite and the peat moss, one to add acidity into the soil, but also to allow for better drainage, some moisture control in these beds. This dirt is pretty good. We put it in here just 2 years ago, but it does get a little packed down. And we did rake through it to try to aerate it a little bit, but want to make sure that we don't have too much hard packed soil that retains a lot of moisture. All right, so now that we have those covered, we can go ahead and take some of the hay or straw, throw it down in the center. It's starting to get a little windy here. Now, typically I would have let these seed potatoes sprout a little bit and maybe even cut them up before I planted them. But honestly, nobody's at the school right now. We don't have any timeline for these potatoes to grow. So I'm just gonna save myself a little bit of time and just kind of plant them right in the ground. So that's how we do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the remaining 2 beds. I'm gonna do it quickly, so I'm gonna shut out the video so I can get out of here and go make dinner. See you soon.